Yo, what's good everyone? Infamous Legacy here, back at it again with another Marvel's Avengers gear guide video. In this gear guide video, I'll be showcasing to you guys the Augment gear set that you guys can get from Roy Model G in the Helicarrier. It's the first gear set where you guys can get exotic gear pieces from a vendor, and again, it's only available from Roy in the Helicarrier during daily reset. Shout out to Sonder Samurai and DJ Koal. They provided a lot of offline dates for you guys to get the best gear pieces from this particular gear set for many heroes. Make sure you follow them on their YouTube and Twitter page. I'll put a link in the description as well. These guys have found some crazy pieces that you guys can really use for a lot of these heroes in the game. And I've actually come across, which I'll showcase in a bit. But with this gear set, it's very similar to the module legendary gear set that you guys can get from the daily Red Room event. But the best thing about the exotic version with the Augment gear set is the stats will be able to go higher than any legendary gear piece. And with these offline dates that DJ Koal and Sonder Samurai have provided, you guys will be able to find the best pieces easily instead of just running any particular mission. And with finding offline dates and how to use offline dates, check out the link in the description to a video I've created on how to find these gear pieces using offline dates. So let's go ahead and showcase to you a couple of these crazy gear pieces from the Augment gear set. With the Augment gear set, before I go into showcasing to you guys the best gear pieces that you guys can get for a couple heroes, this is how you can get these gear pieces. So you go to Roy. Sometimes you are going to see the epic version of that particular gear piece. To change it to the exotic version with the better stats, all you need to do is, if you're on PlayStation for example, you keep hitting the touchpad and then it will eventually switch over to the exotic version, and you guys can see the stat increases. And with these particular gear pieces, I do want to mention what the stats that you really want to go for is most likely proficiency, valor, and resilience, or proficiency and valor, depending on if you really don't need much defense. A lot of these gear pieces, I haven't come across like precision or might on them, but proficiency and valor are probably the best stats to get on these particular gear pieces within the Augment set. So now let's go ahead and showcase to you guys some of those best pieces I've come across using the offline dates provided by DJ Koal and Sonder Samurai. So let's go ahead and get it started with War Machine, aka Iron Man, and show you guys the melee piece that I got from one of the offline dates. And here are the offline dates as well. I will show the offline dates that I used throughout the video for these particular gear pieces. First, we'll start off with this melee gear piece that came with proficiency, resilience, and valor. Comes with bunker buster missiles, which has 18% increased damage of all rocket attacks. You guys already know with Iron Man, that rocket cheese will benefit a lot with this particular perk. We got cosmic power. Power attacks inflict cosmic damage. Power attacks are alright. I would have probably preferred signature attacks, and I will show you that in another gear piece. Then we have Armory Breaker, 15% increased damage from all weapons, so that's repulsors, lasers, and rockets. So this is a really good gear piece right here. The other one that I also got was this one. This is the one I might prefer a little bit more. Reason being is, you can see this one came with proficiency, resilience, and valor. This one came with valor and proficiency, which is just a 2-stat. And when you upgrade just 2-statted gear pieces, you can increase those stats by so much more than a triple stat gear piece. This one came with the same particular perks. However, the middle perk came with signature attacks deal shock damage. And when I'm using Iron Man, I actually use the signature light attacks to, apply status effect or even maybe activate some sort of like buff. So I would definitely use this just because of that. And then I'll also show you an example. So currently this gear piece is at 140 power level. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this gear piece and upgrade it, and you can see it uses a lot of modules. And another thing I will tell you guys with these particular exotic gear pieces when you salvage these exotic gear pieces, you will actually be able to get more upgrade modules now instead of, you know, salvaging just legendary pieces. So every day, if there's an exotic gear piece from, you know, Roy and the helicarrier, and even if you don't want to use it, take it, salvage it, get some upgrade modules from it because it is an exotic gear piece. So here I'm going to be taking the Cloning Labs gear piece that I got, and I'm going to use this gear piece to upgrade the gear piece that I got for my Iron Man. So you can see on the right hand side the stat increase, which is crazy. Valor's at 117, proficiency's at 160 or 116, and it went up to 173. And remember, it's currently at 140. So let's go ahead, do a quick upgrade. Boom. And look at that. And what I'll do is I'll just equip this gear piece so you guys can also see it within my stats. There you go. Kind of took down my precision a little bit, but again, with these particular gear pieces, haven't come across any precision or might, so that's why you see my precision go down a little bit, but the heroic rating went up. Alright, so that was the melee piece for Iron Man. There are other gear pieces that you guys can get as well, but again, check out those offline dates. DJ Koal, Sonder Samurai, follow them on Twitter. They will probably be providing more offline dates for better gear pieces as well that you guys can benefit from. But yeah, this melee slot for Iron Man is incredible. Now let's go ahead to the next hero. With Ms. Marvel, there is that defensive slot that I highly recommend that you guys get from this particular gear set. And if you guys have seen my Ms. Marvel melee, a big in build with the heroic recharge that she's able to get all her heroics back really quick, you guys knew I was using this gear piece, which came from the daily Red Room event. But now, since there is an exotic version of the similar gear piece from the Augment set, what you guys can do is you guys can actually equip this, and obviously the stats will be higher. The perks you guys can see is exactly the same. What I would probably look for with this piece too is it eventually might come out afterwards is getting a 2-statted piece with proficiency and valor only. With Ms. Marvel, I don't really care about having resilience because she is able to heal herself, and with this particular gear piece, she will be able to get her support heroic ability back so quick. So this gear piece is a must if you're going with a big end or a heroic recharge build for Ms. Marvel. Now with Bucky, aka Winter Soldier, there are a couple great pieces that you guys can get from the Augment Exotic Gear Set. So let's go ahead and showcase that to you. And here is the first one, Dagger Augment. This one comes with a cosmic status effect with shotgun attacks, proficiency, resilience, valor. Obviously here's the offline date as well. Protocol Override is basically your ultimate heroic ability that I'll just showcase right over here. So while Protocol Override is active, what this does is all your shotgun attacks are supercharged and it deals additional damage scaling with your Valor. So what that is your Valor is consisting of your heroic stat, which is this stat right here. So the higher this stat is, this piece will actually do a lot more damage than how it would do if you didn't have a high Valor or high heroic rating. And then it also has Rampant Boon, 20% increased critical attack chance while overcharged. And I've explained it numerous times with the overcharge. When your intrinsic meter is completely full and then you hit the right trigger to activate your overcharge, that's when these perks will come into play. So this is one version, and then we have the other version, but this one comes with the third perk that's a little bit different. So this one, Resilience, Proficiency, and Valor. Shotgun attacks inflict cryo damage, but this comes with Press to Charge Boon. So allowing Press to Charge to sit for 5 seconds after it has attached to a surface increases the critical hit chance by 100%. And if you guys are not aware of what Press to Charge is, it's right over here. So it goes with your grenade attacks. So obviously with this particular gear piece, since it does come with the cryo status effect is really good for slowing down enemies, sometimes even bosses. And then we have this version, but that comes with Rampant Boon. So these are the two of the melee slots that I found for Winter Soldier through the offline dates. Now let's go ahead to the defensive slot. So the defensive slot from the Augment Exotic Gear Set is probably one of the best. Back when Winter Soldier got released, especially with the daily Red Room event, also around that same time. You guys already know I showcased this gear piece right here from the Module Gear Set. But now that we have the exotic version, again, you'll get those higher stats and with those exact same perks. So Rampant Assistance, 3.2 increased heroic charge rate while you're overcharged. And then it has Rampant Breaker, 10% increased damage while overcharged. And then it has Bullet Boon, 20% increased critical attack chance from bullet attacks. Really good for your bullet build. And with this particular gear piece, it's really great because of that heroic charge rate perk as well, and the Rampant Breaker. So all these three perks right here are really good for Winter Soldier, and you can experiment with this gear piece with different types of builds that you guys want to make for your Winter Soldier. So I will definitely be using this now and maybe sacrificing this and just use this and upgrade it using this gear piece. And then another gear piece that I came across was the heroic slot. So Winter Soldier does have a pretty interesting heroic slot, and keep in mind with these perks they do stack. So Bullet Boon, you guys know I had it also on the defensive slot. It's also on the heroic slot from the Augment Exotic Gear Set. Valor Proficiency Intensity, Bullet Boon, 20% increased critical attack chance from bullet attacks. Then we have Assassin's Airstrike Boonbreaker, 40% increased critical chance and normal damage of airstrike attacks against enemies marked for assassination. So obviously Airstrike, you guys already know, is your heroic ability. And then activating Mark of Assassination, I'll also show you that here. That comes from your ultimate heroic ability as well. And then the other perk we have here is for, let's say if you did want to do a hybrid build, Knife Breaker, 10% increased damage from knife attacks. So with Bucky, he actually has a couple good gear pieces, from his heroic slot to the defensive slot and then to the melee slot from the Augment Exotic Gear Set. So make sure you guys definitely get these gear pieces using those offline dates, and then you guys will be able to use those gear pieces for a really great Bucky build. Black Panther has a really good defensive slot if you do want to make like an intrinsic type build where you can get your overcharge really quickly and continue to use Percussive Blast. And that gear piece is this one right here. Battle Guard Augment, Resilience Valor Proficiency, Reactive Empowerment, 25% chance, taking damage, grants that intrinsic buff that also regenerates your intrinsic energy while active. And then it also comes with Surplus, increase the base intrinsic energy threshold by 5%. So this is very beneficial, especially when it comes to your Percussive Blast ability, which is right over here. And that is your intrinsic overcharge. Now with Hulk, he does have a melee slot that is really good from the Augment Exotic Gear Set, and that melee slot is this one right here. It's called Nanite Augment, Proficiency and Valor. It comes with Lightweight buff, Cosmic Lightweight, which means cosmic damage is inflicted by your light combo finishers, and then it has Rage Surplus. So this increases your rage energy. And similar to Black Panther, obviously this relates to your intrinsic meter and his rage ability right over here. And this is really good if you do want to build a Hulk that only does, let's say, light combo finisher attacks using the rock cheese. Next up is Kate Bishop. So with Kate Bishop, she has a heroic piece from the Augment Exotic Gear Set. This gear piece is called Charm Augment. I got this using the offline day and it came with Intensity, Resilience, and Valor. If you guys can get Proficiency, Valor, and Resilience for more of a DPS type build, highly recommend it. The perks: Quantum Effector, Quantum Teleportation, Intrinsic Attacks, deal status damage based on what type of melee status gear is equipped. So, for example, this is my Gamma melee status gear piece. And then it comes with Cosmic Potentiator. I probably love the Cosmic Potentiator perk the most out of these other perks. Reason being is it goes really well with my Tachyon Surge targeted buff range gear piece that I got from the Tachyon event. So the Cosmic Potentiator will really benefit well with my range gear piece, especially in a DPS role. And then it does have that lethal targeted buff. So lethal targeted buff, there's a 44% chance when you defeat an enemy with a ranged critical attack, it grants a damage buff. So there is your damage buff, you got the Cosmic Potentiator, and then it has that Quantum Effector. Last but not least is Jane Foster, aka the Mighty Thor. So with Jane Foster, she does have a melee piece that can benefit your hybrid build or your range build, and that is the Gauntlet Augment. Proficiency, Valor, Intensity. Comes with All Mother's Amplifier that does 30% increased status damage from All Mother's Blessing attacks. Cosmic Apex, signature attacks deal cosmic damage. All Mother's Spike, that's a really good one right here. 35% increased critical attack damage from All Mother Blessing attacks. And that is your intrinsic ability, which is All Mother's Blessing right here. So when you're activating this, you'll also be able to do shock damage. So combining your shock and let's say if you are using those signature attacks with Cosmic, that'll create that battery effect damage. But this again is really good for a range build as well due to the first and last perks. That's the end of this Marvel's Avengers gear guide video based on the exotic augment gear set that you guys can get in the Helicarrier from Roy. With this gear set, keep in mind I've only showcased to you guys a couple heroes that can benefit from this particular gear set. There might be other heroes out there as well that can also get some really good gear pieces from the Augment Exotic Gear Set. So make sure you continue checking that out during Daily Reset. And also, shout out again to DJ Koal and Sonder Samurai for those offline dates. I will be providing timestamps on this video so you guys can skip to any hero that you'd like to see and check out with these particular gear pieces I've showcased as well in the video. And also, if you continue to like these Marvel Avenger guide videos, hit that like and subscribe button for more Marvel's Avengers content. I know we already had the last update within the game, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop playing or stop putting content for you guys. I will be putting content and I will still be playing the game, and I will be showcasing a lot of support for a lot of the new players that have come to the game or for a lot of the players who are still playing the game. So until next time, I'm out. You guys stay safe. Peace.